This is Christopher Hinton with the Strength Underground, and today I wanted to go over how this one-year journey and personal coaching program works. So if you're watching this, chances are you're a guy who's never been able to stick with working out, or maybe you just flat out don't like it. Maybe you've tried gyms only to find yourself standing in line for equipment, wiping down every single piece of equipment after you use it, which is such a pain, dodging unsolicited advice from know-it-alls, or just dealing with that whole gym scene that possibly never really felt like it was a good fit for you. Maybe you've tried home workout programs only to hate the exercises. You get burned out, you get bored, and just drift away from it after a few weeks. So that's exactly why I created the Strength Underground. So who's this program for? Well, it's for men who don't want to go to a gym, don't love working out, have never been able to stick with an exercise program, want a home-based solution that's actually doable for life, and that's right, for life. You'll see how that works momentarily, and are willing to get at least a minimal amount of equipment and set aside a small space in your home. So the overall purpose of the Strength Underground is to develop a base layer of strength and fitness. Here's what I consider a base layer of strength to be. It's where every single muscle on your body is strong. You're going to leave no weak areas. You're not going to neglect your quads or your hamstrings or your calves or your abdominals or your obliques. Your joints are going to be stabilized and balanced by having equally strong muscles on both sides of the joint. Your bones are getting harder and more dense than they were before. This is super important for future proofing your body. Your tendons and ligaments are strengthened to prevent injury. I consider it similar to putting on a wetsuit, where a wetsuit goes over your whole body and it just grabs your body and makes you feel kind of tight and strong, and it leaves no areas exposed. Similar concept is this base layer of strength and fitness. And this differs from most other programs where people are concentrating on, I want to achieve a 315 in bench, or I want to get up to a 400 squat, or I'm going to take 2 seconds off of my 100-yard dash, whatever it is. This is a completely different program with a completely different focus. It's not for performance improvement and shaving off those crucial few seconds or gaining those crucial few pounds on a lift. This is just about a lifestyle of strength and fitness that's easy to maintain and much more enjoyable to get through. So what makes this different? Well, you're not just getting a workout program. You're learning a complete system that you can use for the rest of your life. And I do mean for the rest of your life. And here's what that means. It's simple. You'll always know exactly what muscles to work, what exercises to use, how many sets to do, how to structure your workout. You'll never have to hold this information in your head while you're working out. The system is going to tell you what to do every step of the way, every single time you work out. It's really fast. Most workouts take 15 to 20 minutes per session. That's it. No marathon sessions. It's palatable. I don't use the word enjoyable because, let's be honest, most people don't find exercise enjoyable. But every exercise in the system is chosen to be tolerable. So if you hate it, it's out. It's also realistic. There's no overpromising, no hype. Everything is based on what you can actually do and sustain. Our only goal here is consistency. The goal of the Strength Underground and your workout program is simply consistency. Just showing up 3 to 6 times per week, however much you want to exercise. Why? Because that's something that's under your control. We're not chasing short-term transformations. We're not chasing weight loss numbers on the scale. We're not chasing performance numbers. The process is the result. When you make the process your goal, you can't fail. You'll build a base layer of strength and fitness, bone density, and you'll set yourself up to age with a higher quality of life. So without further ado, here is the process. Here is the system. And I'm going to go step by step and show you exactly how this would work for you. The first thing you're probably going to want to know is, what muscles do we work in the system? I mentioned that we work them all, but what is that all? Well, I've come to the conclusion that in order to really leave no area of weakness in your body, you need to concentrate on 11 different muscles or muscle groups. So let me briefly detail this for you. And just so I don't stumble, let me look over at my other screen as I tell you what muscles we're going to be working out. So you're going to work out your biceps. That's the muscle right here on your upper arm. Your abs, I'm talking about your six-pack muscles there. Your obliques, which I'm going to consider any of the muscles that bend or twist. Technically, the obliques don't do much twisting. That's your transverse abdominis, but not to get bogged down in details. We're going to hit the quads. I just consider that your legs. It's the front part of your legs that straightens your knee. We're going to hit your deltoids, which is your shoulders, chest, which is your pecs, your back and lats, which is any of the muscles in your upper back, including this big muscle here on your back called your latissimus dorsi. We're going to hit your calves. We're going to hit in one muscle group I call the glutes, hamstrings, low back, otherwise known as your posterior chain. A lot of people talk about their core and they think of this, but core really means the whole set of muscles that wrap around. So I mentioned we do the obliques. The rectus abdominis, your six-pack muscles, and your obliques. But we're also going to hit the muscles on the backside, your lower back spinal erectors, your glutes, which contribute a lot to the stability of your torso. We're going to hit your traps, the muscles that shrug your shoulders. Technically, there's three separate areas on the traps, but we're not going to get bogged down in details. And we're going to hit the triceps, the muscles on the back of your arm that extend your arm. That's useful for bench presses, any kind of pressing motion. If you hit all 11 of these muscle groups, you're not going to be in want for doing anything else to your body. This is all you need because this is everything. So here's exactly how the coaching works. When you first join, we'll have a call. I'll get to know your situation a little bit. I'll know what kind of equipment you have, what you're planning on getting, your experience with exercise and working out in general, your goals, of course, if you have any limitations in terms of your health, your joints, any pains, anything we need to know about. Then I'll design your first month's program and I'll deliver it to you in what's called Trello. It's a very easy to use free app. Functions kind of like a stack of index cards where you can just take a card and move it from one place to another. So very, very simple to use. You won't have any trouble whatsoever with it. Every workout is going to always be written down. It's turnkey. It's kind of like you bought a business, you put your key in that front door, you open it up, and the business is already running itself. You don't have to make all of these startup choices. So every workout is going to be written down. You simply just follow along. Simply show up just like you do that store you bought, the franchise, you turn your key. You're going to follow the list. You're going to let the system take over. There's no guesswork, no decision fatigue, no confusion. You don't need to remember anything or make any decisions on the fly. So the system uses minimal equipment. You're not going to need any large pieces of equipment like a power rack or a deadlift platform or anything. Just need a few basic tools, dumbbells, kettlebells if you like. You're going to need a mat. That's going to be a necessity. You might want to get a set of rings, like those Olympic rings that you can pull yourself with. You may want to get a bench if you want to add more variety. And I'll tell you exactly what's required. And then you can stagger your purchases over time if you need more equipment. So you don't have to get everything all at once. No worries. Talking about variety and progression, let me first tell you what I mean by progression. What I don't mean is that month one, you're bench pressing 100 pounds. Month two, you're benching 120. Month three, you're benching 150. Month four. If you keep always trying to progress your workouts like that, you're going to reach a point of no returns where you just can't get any further. Also, there's always those diminishing marginal returns. So it's a losing proposition to always try to do more and more. Because if you do that, every time you work out, your workout's going to be harder and harder and harder and harder. And you might think, God, that sounds great for 2 to 3 months. But then let's say you've been working out for a year. Now, just think how much harder your workout is a year from now than when you first started a month ago. And if that doesn't scare you off, what about having workout year number 2 be so much harder than year number 1? I mean, how are you going to be able to keep that up? Year 3 is going to be even tougher. Year 4 is even tougher. Year 5, you're going to fall out. You're going to get overtrained. You're going to hate your life. That's not the way we're going to do things. It's going to be completely different than the way any other trainer goes about their business. So we're not just going to do one workout over and over. We try to build upon those lists. Each month, I'm going to give you a brand new program. So those 11 muscle groups that we saw earlier, we're going to hit all 11 muscle groups, but wherever we can, we're going to try to add a different exercise to hit that same muscle group. We're going to change up the exercises, each muscle group. So over the course of a year, you're going to build yourself a library of 12 different workouts. You're going to rotate through them after that first year, and that's going to keep things very fresh for you, and it's going to avoid overuse injuries. It's going to give you a ton of variety. So these are palatable, effective exercises. Every exercise is chosen for its both effectiveness and the tolerability. If you find an exercise miserable or you dread it, we'll swap it out for something you like better. The goal is to remove internal resistance, which comes from your subconscious, so you're not fighting yourself just to get started each time. Here's a feature that a lot of people find attractive. In reading online forums about personal training, people struggling with workouts, people are always asking for accountability. So if you need accountability, it's built into the system automatically, and support. I'm going to be with you for at least a full year. You can retain me after that if you want to, but the program lasts for a full year. So you're going to have tons of constant support and accountability for the first 12 months. You can message me anytime in WhatsApp or shoot me an email if you have any questions. We'll hop on a call if you need help. I'll make sure you know how to do every exercise correctly, and I'll troubleshoot any problems that come up. This is how I make this system more or less fail-safe. When I talk about accountability, one of the single best tools is something you probably have at home, It's a simple wall calendar that most people have in their kitchen. You can see I've made red X's. I'm going to recommend you use a yellow highlighter and X over every day when you exercise. As soon as you get done exercising, you just go up to that calendar, you put an X with your highlighter. This is tangible proof of how much you've been exercising. Now you can see the calendar that I'm using is not my best demo. I wasn't setting any records. This might be my worst month I've ever had, but I had a picture of it on my computer, so I used it. But gosh, even if you just did this amount of exercise, could you imagine how much farther along you'd be at the end of a year than if all of these were blank because you're simply not exercising? You're procrastinating on a very important goal in your life to build a base layer of muscle and strength, increase your muscle mass, increase your bone density. You let too many months and years go by with nothing, and you can wind up in a very bad situation in what they call your golden years. The calendar keeps you honest and motivated. There's no way to cheat the system. You know exactly what you did, and you also know exactly what you didn't do. I'm going to talk about why I believe that this personal coaching program and the system I've developed is fail-proof. So I hate to use the word fail-proof, but this is about as close as you can get. The three enemies that knock most men out of the game are overtraining, you're working out too long, too hard, too much intensity. You get overuse injuries by doing the same movements over and over again. Or you develop workout avoidance. This is something that stems from your subconscious. It's where you dread your workouts and you'll think of every reason in the world to skip them. The system is designed from the ground up to route around these pitfalls. Workouts are short and manageable, and exercises are rotated for variety, and nothing is included that you truly dislike. How do you know what you truly dislike? Well, it's by experimenting, testing out the exercises. And when you find that one is just not really suited for you, we just swap it out with something else that works that same muscle group. So after a year, here's what you're going to have done. You'll have proved to yourself that you can exercise consistently. And that's something that most men can never really say. You'll have built a solid functional body with stronger muscles and denser bones, which is what our primary goal is, of course. And you'll have developed the skills and the system needed to maintain your results for life. If you can do it for a year, you can repeat it every year with total confidence. That's why it's a lifetime system. If I can take you through an entire year where you're proving to yourself that you can exercise consistently, all you have to do is the next year, play that on repeat. You'll have already done it once, so you'll know you can do it. And it doesn't get any harder. All you have to do is just maintain day after day after day. Just put in your sessions, show up, and the system will take you through the whole workout. It only takes 15 minutes. There's really no excuses why you cannot be successful with this system. So talking about the psychology of what makes this system work, well, most programs fail because they demand too much. They take too much time, too much energy, too much willpower. You may start off super motivated, but that flame can burn out very quickly. So with the Strength Underground, we drastically reduce that workload. So that makes it easy to keep up for the rest of your life. And the easier your workout is to both start and finish or get through, the more likely you are to stick with it. It just makes common sense. So you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. If after watching this, you think you're interested in taking the next step, well, just go to my website at strengthunderground.com. Read all the information there. You can sign up for my newsletter if you're interested. Go to my Facebook page at Strength Underground, like it, follow it. I'm constantly putting articles on there. Sign up for one of my free Facebook groups. I have one both for senior exercise and one for home strategies for men suffering from low testosterone. So when I say go to my website and read through it, I mean, really take a look through the entire website. Read these FAQs. You'll learn a lot in there. Read the about section so you'll know a little bit more about what you're getting into. Read the resources. That tells you exactly what equipment you may be interested in getting for the system. You'll find out what muscles our system works. You'll find out exactly how to work with me, what that process looks like on a month-by-month basis. And you'll read a little bit more about this complete exercise philosophy that you'll be ascribing to. Before you sign up on here, you'll notice when you go to my website, as you scroll down the page, you're not going to see a buy now button because I don't want anybody just signing up for the program just so they can hand over their money to me. I want you to make absolutely sure that this is going to be a perfect fit for you. So you should really resonate with what you see on the website as you're reading it. And if it doesn't really strike a chord with you, I would probably pass on this program because I can only work with about 30 clients per year. So just take advantage of my free stuff if you don't think this is going to be a great fit for you, because I want you to be successful. Since I can only take on about 30 clients a year, I don't want you to start the journey unless you first counted all of the costs involved. So here's some expectations of you as a client. Need you to definitely be committed to the process. Realize we're in this together for a full year. Be responsible for your finances. Get the required gear in a timely manner, respond to communication quickly, keep your commitments and appointments. There should not be a lot of reschedules. There should never be a missed appointment. Use the calendar method. It's free, it's easy, it's so simple, and it's super important. It's one of the cruxes of this system. Focus on the process and the activity rather than results, and prioritize your own exercise and our time together. So since we're together 2 days per month, I need you to really give that the highest priority on your calendar. So I primarily work with men who are suffering from low testosterone and low energy, who find it difficult to stick with exercise, maybe have never been able to be consistent at all with exercise. That's my target market. That's who I want to help, because I believe that's the market that I can give the most help to. Because if that's you, then you are just like me. And I already know that this system is perfect for me. So if you are like me, chances are it's going to be absolutely perfect for you too. So if anything that I've said here, or if everything that I've said here has resonated with you today, I urge you to just go to my website, read all about it, be an informed consumer, do your due diligence, and I hope to see you on the other side. You take care.